Yo, welcome back. Hey everybody, how you doing? This is Mr. Hardcore Mode, where nothing is easy. We are going to check out the Blood of the Dawnwalker gameplay reveal, the thing that we've been waiting for. Apparently this game, we've been checking it out, of course. Sorry, I'm eating on the go. But we have been checking out this game for a while now, and the only thing that we wanted was the gameplay. Of course, we wanted to see the gameplay. CGI cutscenes, that's fine. But we need to see how the game plays. That's very, very, very important. I know it came out probably just 2 hours ago. But I wanted to wait until we got the 4K resolution sort of thing, because it was looking kind of bad. We're going to put it on 1440p. We're going to check out the gameplay, and then we're going to check out the dev team and see what they have to say about the game. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and dive right in. From the Rebel Wolves. A beta version of the game. Let's see what they got. I like that sound.
Hello, my name is Daniel Sadowski and I'm the design director at Rebel Wolves. I would like to welcome you to the Blood of Dawnwalker summer gameplay video.
Is there a frame
Our game
thing?
is a story-driven, open-world dark fantasy RPG set in medieval Europe. The game is currently in pre-beta stage, and what we are going to show you is just a part of one of the mid-game quests. It's a really cool story involving legendary swords and a haunted almshouse, but today we'll focus on showcasing our gameplay systems. We're starting on the outskirts of Svartro, the game's largest city and the capital of Vale Sangora. From here, we could head anywhere the eye can see, explore ancient ruins or sabotage vampire blood transports. But it's not just about where or when you go. It's also about how you approach the main quest and shape the story, making each playthrough uniquely your own. For now, we're following the road. Cohen is on his way to the city's cathedral, chasing leads about a powerful weapon said to be hidden in its crypts.
I'm noticing a frame
we'll
thing
have
with the
to
video.
deal with some bandits
But
who
I think I
camped
can't
out
change
by
that.
the main road. Traveling through Vale Sangora is never boring. The world is dense with quests, random encounters, and locations steep in lore. This will be a great opportunity to show you our combat system. Our goal was to make the player feel like a real swordmaster who...
Is that For Honor mechanics? I think that's For Honor mechanics. Let's keep going.
closely observes his enemies. We'll begin this fight by using acrid dust to stun one of the enemies. Now, when you attack, you choose one of four directions: up, down, left or right, in order to hit the opponent where he's unable
Yeah,
to
it's
parry.
For Honor mechanics.
And similarly, when defending, you have to take
Kinda
note
like
of the
KCD
enemy's
too.
intent and the direction of the attack. On the left side of the screen, just above Cohen's health, you have activation charges that will be filled in with each successful attack, block and parry. Once they are full, you can use one of the active abilities which allow you to take a more tactical approach to fighting. We started the fight by throwing some acrid dust. And now let's cast Burning Blood. It's a hex which boils the enemy's blood and burns their skin, dealing physical damage over time.
Nice.
Alright, time to finish this fight. Let's use the final activation charge to cast the artery attack, which... which actually decapitated the last opponent.
Witcher.
Our hero quickly dispatched the bandits, so let's loot a few items they've left behind and open the inventory.
I do like the decapitation. There is going to have to be something done about the screen shaking when you're moving between enemies and fighting and stuff and clashing swords. That's going to have to be fixed. Also, if you guys got the funds, there has to be a little bit of dialogue with your main character, if he can even speak. And also, there has to be grimaces and stuff done with the mouth as you're fighting. So is he in a sort of agitated mode when he's fighting? He's got to have that or like ooh, or just, you know, his mouth has to change, and it doesn't look like his mouth or anything is changing. Is that why the bandits have a cloth over their mouth? Is because you didn't want to work on their mouth or anything when they're fighting? Because pretty much they're just saying a whole bunch of cuss words while they're fighting. So you covering up the bandit's mouth makes it seem like it's just a lazy way of not showing lips moving when you're fighting. It's a beta. They can change that.
First of all, let's replenish our health by eating something. And then take a...
To be honest, the combat looks mid as fuck. Good. They can work on mid. Now, if it looks atrocious, that's going to take too much time and they're going to have to delay the game a lot. So since it's in beta and you say it's mid, they have room to improve. And it's a good thing that they're showing the gameplay now so we can speak on it and then work from there. So that's good. I can tell that this UI right here, this HUD, it has room for improvement, a room for change.
Closer look at this cool-looking weapon we just picked up. Ah, it has better stats than our current weapon, so let's equip it right now. We've also leveled up, so let's...
The circle menu? The circle menu can be adjusted. I honestly don't want a complete stop of the combat. I want to... What do I want? I want the combat to be slowed while you're looking at abilities.
Let's use this opportunity to spend the newly acquired skill point in one of Cohen's skill trees. The skills in the Blood of the...
Isn't this the same thing as Black Myth Wukong? This looks like the same thing as Black Myth Wukong. Am I going crazy? I'm noticing that a lot of people are doing not only the same circle thing, it's the same... I mean, I'm noticing something here. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? I'm just noticing. I'm just noticing the same thing. I think I could point out another game that does the same thing.
Dawnwalker are divided into 3 trees. One for human, one for vampire, and one shared between the two. We also have an active abilities panel. We can use it to unlock additional abilities to use during combat.
So we got magic.
Note
That's good.
that during the day, the health bar is not regenerating. You need to find consumables like the one we've just eaten. The hexes we've just used also consume some of Cohen's health. Be aware of that. The way our magic system works, there's always a price to pay for manipulating reality. But we can make it sting a bit less. Let's level up the Frugal Witchcraft skill, so next time we'll cast a hex, it'll consume fewer of Cohen's health points. Now that we've wrapped up the encounter with the bandits, we can be on our way to get inside the city. Right now, Cohen hasn't done enough to ruffle the Vampire Lord's feathers, so the gods will just wave us through. But the more damage you cause, the more suspicious and aggressive they'll become. So when you play the game yourself, you'll have to decide whether you want to challenge the vampires openly, or later.
Lock-on combat is ass? Absolutely. You're right. Lock-on combat is ass. That's why it has that shakiness while you're doing the combat. You're right. You're right. Absolutely. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of moments where you know that you dodged out of the way, but for some odd reason, they made the enemy get, like, literally magnetized towards you, and then you get hit. But, like I said, if you're not into the combat, that's fine. It is what it is. I mean, there's no change in you on that one. But what I can say is, I'm glad that they brought it out a year before the game's going to come out next week, and there's room for improvement. This is why we're having discussions right now.
Stay low until you're ready to strike and surprise them.
It's even bigger than I remembered.
And it's grander than before. They're putting in new stained glass. The Knyaz doesn't deny the old faith.
Out of my face.
This is the rich district of the city, Silberkreis. There's also Altenmarkt, Neustadt, and the Middens. Each of the boroughs has its own feel and character.
Get your stinking ass out of here.
I was just passing through, I swear. I got tired and sat down and started begging.
Looming high over the
I can say that the music is fucking fantastic. Good job on the music. I feel like these kind of developers know how to nail music, and plus they're from you know, from the same you know, the Polish area, whatever. Anyway,
city is Brancis's castle, Greifberg. He took it over when he slaughtered the human ruler of the valley, Skender, as shown in the trailer we shared with you earlier in January this year. In order to complete the main quest and save your family, you will have to storm the castle, alone or with help of friendly NPCs. We could do it right now if we wanted, but it would be super challenging.
The fact that you could probably end the game right now, and that's a possibility, that is actually kind of cool. But there's consequences to your actions. There's a day and night cycle, and you have to rescue your family. It's on the top right of the screen. Some people are skeptical about it, and rightfully so. I'm wondering to myself right now, how long is the day and night cycle? Do you know what I mean? Is the day and night cycle kind of like every other game where you can stop playing for like 30 minutes and the day and night cycle comes every 5 minutes or 10 minutes? Or is it gonna be like you're playing for literally an hour and a half and it's still daytime, and then it's finally nighttime after, after 2 hours or something like that. Something like that. 'Cause that's the kind of thing that I worry about, is because people don't want a homework assignment to turn into. Because if you turn the game too much into a homework assignment, basically like you got to turn this in before you fail a grade or something like that. If you turn it too much like that, people will turn away. But what they have here is interesting. If they want to do something innovative like that, I hope they do a good job on it.
No more drink for you, my friend. Go home.
Oh, let me. I just want to. Oh, let me in.
You made a mess, and it's not that kind of inn.
Let's check the map. The cathedral is really close. There's plenty of other places to see and things to do here. A couple of inns, a medic, a blacksmith, an armorer,
yeah, they're
and
definitely
other
from
merchants.
Witcher. That's a lot of taverns. One might say not enough taverns.
You can see that not only the
What up, Craig? How you doing, man? How you doing?
vampires came out of the shadows. This creature on the right is called an Uriash. Look around, especially at night, and you'll learn humans
I hope there's
have
combos
lots
in the game
to fear, not just the vampires.
Pretty sure you have to fight normal people. I mean, you just did. Here's another thing that I would like to add as well. I am so glad that they added children into this game. Now listen to me carefully. I'm so glad that they added children into this game, because it gives the game a sense of urgency. You can say, like, this depends on you, because you could just look at a child in a game and you could just literally punch him in the face and you don't fucking care. It's a fucking video game. But for me, when I see a child, I'm just like, oh, well, cool, they brought children into the game. But if they give me a story to it, and a vampire is literally about to kill like a 10-year-old, well, I'm gonna react. I'm gonna react in some sort of way where I want to save the child. You see what I'm saying? Where it's just like, well, oh shit, I'm so used to like men and women getting killed, like grown-ass adults in video games, where it doesn't affect me. But as soon as I see a child get picked up and thrown, I'm just like, what the fuck? You see what I mean? Where it kind of like pulls at your heartstrings a little bit, if that makes sense. What up, Bryce? How you doing? Glad you're...
And here we can see guards pounding on some poor guy's doors.
What is it about?
They need to work on the frame rate, by the way.
Who told you this nonsense? Was it Livia?
It's just one of many different community scenes we're implementing in the game. Watch them closely when you play, as they might point you to new quests and hidden treasures, or signal changes
I love
in the
the
game's
buildings.
world.
Again.
Makes me want to play KCD.
Humbly beg of thee.
I humbly...
Ouch!
I don't want to say it, Mum.
It's a prayer. It's what we have to say. Go on.
I humbly beg of thee.
That is a really nice building.
Okay, we are at the cathedral gates. Again, since Cohen isn't yet wanted by the vampire regime, and it's daytime, we can simply walk inside.
A cutscene.
The baptism of a newborn is a solemn moment, doubly so. A new life joins our flock, bringing happiness to its parents and to the congregation. Natus ex sanguine est.
That's not good.
Alitur sanguine. Et in sanguine morietur. Ego te baptizo in nomine Dei. Amen.
That's not good.
Don't I know you from somewhere, young man? Laslia, maybe?
I'm sorry, but you must be mistaken.
Okay, he's spoken.
Am I? Perhaps. My memory isn't what it used to be. Come with me.
Not bad lip singing.
I'll take your
I
confession.
mean, sinking.
Thank you, but I have no need for confession.
So you deem your conscience clear?
Oh, thank God. Oh, thank God. I was wondering to myself, like, how many times is there going to be a time to decide meter every time when you speak? I had to think about that for a second. I was like, how many times is there going to be a time dilation for speaking? It seems like it's half and half.
I wouldn't go that far. But I'm sure you're a busy man, Father. So while I appreciate the offer, I feel that my soul shouldn't be your priority.
I won't press the matter. You are quite correct. I have many other duties to attend to. But please remember that in order to be saved, we all need to repent. Myself included. I hope we can speak again soon. Good day to you. Cohen?
There's a little bit of work in
What we saw right here was just one of many cutscenes we recorded for the game, which smoothly transitioned into a dialogue scene. We use cutscenes to highlight key scenes or showcase interesting bits of lore. Like this blood baptism. Creepy, isn't it? The core feature of the Blood of Dawnwalker is the dual gameplay loop. Remember, Cohen may be a human during the day, but he turns into a vampire at night and has a different set of skills at his disposal. And this is just one variable.
That's also another thing. He probably visually looks different during the night. So talking to somebody like the bishop right there looks normal because it looks like two humans talking. I wonder how it would look if he came in during the night. I mean, you're walking around with scars and tattoos on your arm. Actually, no, I take that back. Well, it depends on the insignia and the symbol on your arm, because there are cuts and certain, like, you know, tattoos that are done by daggers and stuff like that back in the day, where, like, you know, pirates would put, like, you know, certain tattoos by using like a sharp knife or something like that. But if you have a certain engram or a certain symbol on your arm, people are going to look at you like, oh, this is sacrilege, bruh. So I wonder if that plays into effect.
That affects our quests. Depending on when you tackle a particular quest, what choices you made earlier, whom you befriended, or whom you've angered, your gameplay and story experience will be very, very different. So each quest is a complex structure with multiple possible paths leading to the end goal.
Gotta take care of those frames.
We maximize players' freedom and agency, offering you a narrative sandbox to play in. I wonder what secrets may be concealed up there, just beyond Cohen's reach. And how do we get there? It's impossible to do during the day, but come night, it's an entirely different story. Let us explain what we mean by taking our current quest as an example. During the day, we got inside the cathedral without any problems, since it's open for all to see and Cohen doesn't yet stand out from the crowd. The scaffolds, though, are outside of his reach. But climbing them won't be a problem for the vampire, who has many more exploration abilities at his disposal.
Hey, Maximize, how you doing? You take
Bear
care.
in mind, Cohen has not completed the quest yet. What's more, there are still a few clues to be found in order to solve this story. It's worth mentioning that narrative sandbox also means that we may completely abandon this quest and follow a different path to defeat Brensis. For today, we're focusing on the gameplay part, so let's see how we could tackle this particular quest during the night. We're starting right after dusk, as a vampire, on the rooftops of Svatro. Right now, we have 22 days left to complete this goal. This counter is always displayed and you will be warned each time it's pushed forward.
Okay.
So you have to be aware of the time, and it's more of a resource you'll be spending than a racing clock. As a vampire, you'll see and experience the world from a different perspective. You can travel quickly and easily access places beyond the reach of regular humans. Let us show you what we mean. This is Shadow Step, a unique vampiric ability, allowing Cohen to jump to all...
Dishonored. But yeah, sure. It's a vampire ability. It's a vampire ability called... It's a Dishonored ability. Okay? Let's just be honest. Let's just be honest. This is a new ability called the Vamp... It's Dishonored. Okay? I'll go back and play Dishonored right now. You don't have to name it anything, just call it Dishonored. By the way, his health bar has changed, so it looks like he can regenerate health because he's a vampire at night. He's more human during the day, so that's kind of interesting. By the way, there is a frames per second issue that is going on because the game's still in beta. I wish it had better frames, but when the game comes out, I hope it does a lot better on the frame issue, because everybody's been looking at Monster Hunter Wilds lately, right? Right? Okay.
almost any place within his reach. Now, let's take a good look around using the focus mode.
Oh, that's a lot of raspberry jam.
This ability highlights objects of interest and loot.
Man, he dropped.
And there is something right here. This time it's just some items to grab, but on other occasions, who knows, you might come across a hidden quest. Looks like our health is quite low. This is because as a vampire, your health bar also represents your hunger level, and you start each night thirsting for blood. Remember, you have to quench this appetite in order to make full use of your vampire abilities, and rein in your monstrous nature around NPCs. Otherwise, you may end up draining someone important, which may lead to unpredictable consequences.
There was a weird sound that was going on with the bats, and I'm pretty sure that's probably an item that they didn't want to talk about. I was listening to him, but there was some bat noise that was going off to the left of my ear, and it seems like it's probably something related to an item or something related to like sanguine hunger or something like that. But we'll see.
We'd better feed then. Maybe on someone who is standing all alone, like this drunkard.
Bro, if you get blood from a man, you're gay. Simple as that. Brensis, stupid fuck. Suck the blood straight from my cock. That's the... Wait. I thought that was funny, but it didn't rhyme, but it was funny.
Let's grab him and use Voracious Bite ability. Unless you lose control due to hunger, you get to decide how much blood to drink. You can drain just a bit and knock your victim unconscious, or go all the way and kill them. And if you're adamant you don't want to hurt innocent humans, you can drink from animals and some other creatures.
Okay. Can you drink from vampires?
Finally, we are at the cathedral, but it seems to be closed for the night, and the entrance gate is well guarded. Let's find...
Nigga, what are you talking about entrance gate? Two things. There, you can go through the top right there. Actually, three things. One, you can go through the window up there. Two, the glass, the stained glass is really nice. Three, why the fuck is there no vampires on the roof? Does anybody wonder that? Why isn't there more vampires on the roof at night? You ever thought about that? I mean, vampires live here, right? Why is he the only person on the roof? Maybe it happens more often later on in the game, but I'm just wondering to myself, like, bro, how are you the only vampire on top of the roof? That's just so weird. It's so weird. Every vampire in any video game, film, comic, everybody wants to wear latex, everybody wants to hold a sword, and everybody wants to go brooding while looking on top of a balcony, and then, you know, play some Evanescence in the background or some shit, okay? Everybody's seen Underworld, okay? Let us be Underworld, okay? Well, bring all the vampires on the top. Play the EDM music from Blade and shit.
Find another way in. Shadow Step is not the only vampiric ability you're gonna learn during your playthrough. Cohen can also use Plane Shift to scale walls and even ceilings smoothly.
That's cool.
This
that's
will
awesome.
allow us to explore every nook and cranny of the cathedral.
Why can't you just jump there yourself? Can you jump?
Blood to blood.
The roads of the world better be quiet.
You shall become Kenya's prince.
Is that Warrior Xanthi?
He's come
What the hell is she doing here?
I mean, she lives
What is
there,
she
bro.
doing? Is that a ritual for the blood gods?
become your new family. You shall want for nothing. You shall
covering up the old paintings.
Only
Why?
duty shall remain.
One of the workers must have left it. Seems that the cathedral complex is quite big. The main building, cloisters, inner courtyard.
You shall become
The entrance to the crypt could be anywhere. Won't get anything done just standing around.
his command.
Still.
This was a scene investigation, a mechanic we used to zoom in on and showcase key clues. This time we had a chance to learn more about the vampire's plans. Looks like they're keen to cover up the old frescoes, so that's something we could take a look at. This way we could learn more about the cathedral's past.
Blood to blood. You shall
Looks like we aren't alone here. Underneath us there's a group of blood guards, soldiers hooked up on vampire blood, which makes them stronger. And one of Brances's vampire allies. It's Xanthi, the oldest vampire in Vale Sangora, and quite a powerful lady.
Okay. We need to talk. Okay. If she is a very powerful eldritch sort of vampire, this brand new vampire that you're playing as should be seen a mile away. I'm sorry. You're a brand new vampire flying around like a dumbass on top of the cathedral, and she's an eldritch, old, crusty ass vampire lady that knows the old wizard texts. She should know when you shit. She should know every time that you drink, every time that you make a step, every time that you take a shit. This whole... okay, let's pretend that she doesn't know that you're here. If you land over there, she better not be surprised, bro. If you go down there and she's surprised that you're here, I'm gonna be mad. Because we're talking lore here. Okay, I like lore. I like difficult games. I like RPGs. And I like lore. If you jump down there and she's like, oh man, I didn't know you were here.
Let's descend and check what's going on.
Oh, it was gonna be a cutscene anyway.
Don't think I don't see you
Thank
skulking
you.
in the shadows.
Thank you. Ah, thank God. That was a good one. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you.
Come out. You're interfering with my task. Who are you?
She doesn't
It doesn't
know.
matter.
Very well. I don't have time for interruptions. Let us dispose of him. Quickly.
I'm gonna be honest. Before the game comes out for Xanthi, the Dark Mistress, you need to
Back into the
change.
United States. I'm just here to help. That's my plan.
Before the game comes out, Xanthi, the Dark Mistress, she needs to change her tone because she sounds like an old crone, but I know a little bit about her lore, and she's more like a noblewoman, and she should be speaking a little bit different than the time period of now. So she should have a more what sort of voice should she have? She seems like she's just cleaning up right now. And then I don't know, I think she should have more flair to her voice. But all right, let's see it. Withstood
Cohen
what?
is using his claws to attack when in vampire form.
Oh, that's cool.
Blood guards are dual-wielding opponents. Their attacks are pretty strong. Of course, even when fighting with claws, combat is still directional. Don't worry, Cohen can still use his sword as a vampire.
You can't live alone.
Only after defeating all three of the blood guards, Xanthi deems Cohen worthy of a challenge, and she descends to face him.
There's a lot of shaking with the screen. The camera needs to back up by maybe an inch. Back the screen up, because when you're aiming, we're a little bit too close to Cohen. Back up the screen by an inch. There's gonna be a mod for that for Blood of the Dawnwalker. Back up the screen by an inch, and when you're doing claw abilities and you're fighting enemies with armor, there should be clanking sounds, and not clanking sounds like king king. It should be like an annoying scratching noise. So if you're fighting these guys, they got metal plate armor on. It should be an interesting voice. You have no idea how much people love audio. People talk like, oh shit, well I don't care if the game has sound or anything. No, you do. Audio is so very important. The claws should have, when you're cutting someone, and I've already seen this with indie games, so I've seen this with indie games where people barely have any money in their pocket making blood and gore video games. They have a decapitation sort of system to where you slice somebody, that reacts to where you're slicing. So if you slash them in the chest and they die, their HP is 0, they slash in that direction. And, you know, it shouldn't be the same sort of limbs getting cut off. You know what I mean? Because sometimes I'm watching the fight and I'm like, okay, he slid off his right arm. Okay, well, he slid off his right arm as well. And I'm just like, well, it should make sense. If he does low attacks, he should cut off a leg. If he does high attacks, he should cut off the head. Something like that. So I hope that's implemented in the game a little bit more. Have the audio change for the claw attacks, and and back up the camera. Back up the camera a little bit. Look how close he is. Look how close he is. Too close.
She uses her blood control powers to cast a multitude of attacks, like her blood whips that hit Cohen from left and right. Xanthi is protected by a powerful vampire ability. Once her stamina runs out, Cohen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthi is quick to counterattack and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen in the CGI trailer.
Okay.
So, if we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0 and Cohen will eventually explode.
Oh, so we're talking nihil! 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 First off, okay, this whole thing where you could die, that's cool, but let's talk about the beginning of the fight. Let's talk about this part right here. Right here.
Xanthi is protected by a powerful vampire ability.
That's boring. That's boring. You have this lady that's flying around and she's whipping Cohen with a very slow, like, whip. That's it. I'm not talking about the moment where you bring her health down and then she uses an ultimate ability. That's interesting. We need to talk about the moment in between those moments because they're just as important. Because I'm watching this fight and all she's doing is just like, get back to work, boy. and then just doing whip attacks. And I'm just like, that's not very fun. There needs to be, she literally has long ass claws, and you're not gonna make her use those long ass claws? Are you serious right now? What about the fact that she could bite Cohen? That long ass claws, she has a lot of teeth, so she could bite Cohen and take his blood. That could be like a QTE sort of moment right there. That could be interesting. Do more blood attacks. The battle in between the ultimate needs to be more fleshed out and more interesting. Bro, you need to put me in the fucking payroll, bro. You need to put me in the payroll. Bro, go. Let's go.
Once her stamina runs out, Cohen will have an opportunity to strike and deal some damage. But be careful, cause Xanthi is quick to counterattack, and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen in the CGI trailer. So, if we don't hurry, the timer goes down to 0, and Cohen will eventually explode.
I'll be honest, that looked cool.
We're dead. Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthi is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here...
Punishing? Punishing? First of all, you put it on easy mode, okay? I saw how much health he took down her, okay? But punishing? First of all, you put it on easy mode, okay? I saw how much health Cohen took, and it was a lot. He did a 3-hit combo, and her health was already at 75%, or it's a 3-parter, so I would say, like, you know, whatever. Anyway, math, whatever. I don't care about math. I'm just saying, when you say a powerful enemy, and then Cohen does how much damage? Let's check it out. Let's check it out.
Cohen will have
Watch
an
her health.
opportunity to
Watch her health.
Strike and deal some damage. But be careful.
It don't matter. None of this matters.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Don't come up to me. Don't come up to me and say the most powerful enemy, and you put it on easy mode, and he does a... And I'm like, I just fought a hot Korean... I just fought a hot Korean fucking waifu samurai bitch on Stellar Blade. She whipped my motherfucking ass. But she was hot though. But all I'm saying is, that boss fight that I had on Stellar Blade, she had more combos that made my head spin. Also, is this your favorite thing when you're fighting bosses? My favorite thing with fighting bosses multiple times and you're still losing and you're just like, I need to figure her out. And then on the seventh round of trying to beat that boss shows 2 new abilities. You're learning her and you're figuring her out, and you're just like, okay, avoid that, parry that, get that, dodge that, jump over that, and then you got it. And then on the 7th round, that boss does 2 new abilities, and you're like, nigga, what? You've never done that. But it's an awesome feeling. It's such an awesome feeling to be like, bro, I'm out here and I only have 7 or 8 abilities. This motherfucking boss has like 50. It's like an awesome feeling because you never know what you're gonna get.
Because Xanthi is quick to counterattack, and she will also try to restore her blood. Meanwhile, look at the indicator just below her health and stamina. It's a timer for the boiling blood skill that you've seen.
Somebody says in chat, but there's a thing that I took away from this that I enjoy, that you can fight bosses early, and you can also do quests with bosses. That's actually kind of interesting. I'm gonna be honest. That is kind of interesting.
In the CGI trailer. So if we don't hurry,
I'll
the timer
stick
goes
with
down
easy
to
mode,
0,
thank you.
and Cohen will eventually explode.
I don't know. Blue Vegas says I'll stick with easy mode. You say that though, but if you tried on normal or hard difficulty and you're getting your ass handed to you the whole night, and then you turn off the game, and then you wake up in the morning and you're like, whatever, I'll just try it. Whatever, I'll just try it. And then you slap the boss in one hit. It happens so many times that I can't believe it. Because you're frustrated with that boss that you were trying to fight last night. Then you wake up early in the morning, and then you slap the boss once, and you're like, oh my god, it was so easy.
And we're dead. Remember, we were only mid-game here, and Xanthi is one of the game's most punishing enemies. Defeating her right here and right now is very much possible, but it would be hellishly difficult. A fun challenge for hardcore players.
Yeah, I'll do it.
Otherwise, we could load the game and explore the cathedral without drawing her attention. Or try to get to her while she's not surrounded by bodyguards.
Oh, nice.
Xanthi, like all other vampire allies, has her own questline. Explore it, and you can learn more about her past, motivations,
weaknesses,
and maybe even try to reason with her. What you do is entirely up to you. Remember, our design principle is the narrative sandbox. There is no difference between main quests and side quests. There's
I get it. Okay, this is the part of the blood of the Dawnwalker that I like. The fact that this is not an action and adventure. This is a narrative simulator. That means each and every person in the game, well, pretty much any support characters or main characters are a tool within Blood of the Dawnwalker. So you can either use that said person right now, or you can use them later, or you can kill them later, or you can just straight up avoid them. And the fact that you can mix and match all those moments is really interesting to me. I think that's going to be the meat and potatoes of Blood of the Dawnwalker. And of course, you're going to have your combat and stuff. They do need to flesh out combat. Let's be honest. They do need to flesh out combat. That combat and that camera and that frame rate, you need to fix that shit. But there is room to improve with, and there's not only room to improve, but there's also something that you got with the narrative aspect that I really enjoy. The fact that you can use a boss on a boss sounds pretty good. What if you fuck the Dark Mistress, and then it was so good that she wanted to fight against her own allies? She's now on your side. I wouldn't put my dick in it, but you know, I gotta save my family. You gotta do whatever you can to save your family, right? But they had more to say right after.
Now, and I feel like I get excited over something different every single time I see it.
And you're going to probably watch it again after this stream, aren't you?
Okay, you know me too well.
Okay, so.
Okay, just first and foremost, I do not trust anybody that is like a content creator that comes in and gets the new news or gets to play the game early and all that stuff. I don't trust people like that. You're always going to have a smile on your face. If you work there, that makes sense. That's PR. But if you're there to, you know, be like, oh man, I'm a content creator and I saw something that you didn't see, but it's going to be great. It's going to be game of the year. And I'm like, we have something here, but I don't trust you, is what I'm saying.
What's your favorite part so far?
So far, I think the day and night
nice
cycle,
suit, though.
The fact
Nice
that
suit.
The same quest can feel so different if I complete in the day. I could be walking into the cathedral. No problem, I meet Suspicious Priest Man.
Florence.
That's it, Suspicious Priest Man.
Yeah, I hope so,
night,
Briars.
I can't
Open
walk
to
through the
feedback.
doors. I have to jump through the rafters and, well, Florin is nowhere to be found, but Xanthe and her bodyguards are staring me down. It's
Yeah.
just so different.
Yeah, and it is just a small part of it, because we could go back, load the game, and try to explore the cathedral without drawing anyone's attention. We could also try to get to Xanthe when she's not surrounded by the Bloodguards. And just like other vampire allies of Brancis, she also has her own quest line. So we could try to explore that and, you know, find out more about her past, her motivations, and maybe even try reasoning with her.
She does not look reasonable. I'm not gonna lie. She does not look reasonable. But
I'll agree with
she
him
does
on
look
that
scary,
one.
So I will do my best to reason with her. That is a great idea. Even within the day and night, the fact that so much can change based on what I do, I think that's really, really fun.
Yeah,
It feels
I think
like
it's
gonna
cool.
be so different each time.
Yeah, yeah. With the narrative sandbox, you just weave together
Narrative
all these
sandbox.
different stories and create your own unique adventure. So when, how, or if you decide to explore a quest really does matter for.
By the way, this is the narrative sandbox that we wanted for Fallout 76. This is what we wanted for Fallout 76. A narrative sandbox. Of course, we wanted to go around shooting things and getting loot, but we wanted a narrative sandbox because the narrative of Fallout is just as important as running around getting loot and stuff. Apparently, they got lost in translation in Bethesda and thought that we didn't want a story and said like, well, you interacting with another person is the story. No, bitch. No, it's not. You just meet another person in Fallout 76. They stand there the whole fucking time. You turn around. They shoot you dead. They grab your loot. And that's your narrative experience. Congratulations. There's nothing. You have to add a third element besides just the player.
You, for your experience,
That's my little
but
rant.
also for the world and people living there.
Sounds like there's going to be a lot of changes in Vale Sangora, but you mentioned people, and we promised the people, you, that we would answer some of those questions, and I came prepared. So, this first question, I'm going to put you straight on the spot here.
Let's go.
And it comes from, I hope I've pronounced your name right, I'm so sorry if I didn't, Thrassel. And it is the big one because it talks matters of the heart. Will the Blood of Dawnwalker have any romance mechanics? And if it...
I fucking hate these community. I hate them. Oh my fucking god, I hate them. I hate them so much. Romance Xanthe, you're the problem. You're the problem. I'm not romancing the skeleton bitch. It's Witcher 3 all over again? Well, let's see his answer.
If it does, how will they affect the story?
Okay, so this is a very popular question indeed, right?
Oh my fucking...
So yes, there will be 3 romance options, and you know, Colin is young, he's going on an adventure, he'll meet a lot of people there, and it's only natural that he can develop some feelings and bonds with other people, right? Of course, it will be purely optional, and it will affect his story, but on a more personal level.
Okay. I can't wait to see people start shipping Cohen. I'm going to be honest.
No! 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 I fucking hate you guys. God damn, I hate you guys. You shippers, you fucking freaks out there, are hang out for as long as you can wank. Like, I thought I was the pervert, but you shippers, you fucking only come for the romance kind of people. Come and go so quickly. Like you come into KCD and you're like, ooh, Hans Capon and Henry. You jerk off and then you leave after 3 months of playing the game. and then the real people that actually care about the lore and the mechanics of the game finally come back like, is this place back to being normal now? Okay, alright. Every fucking time, bro. Look, thank God it's, I mean, of course it's always going to be optional, but I fucking hate that, man. You remember back in the day when Dragon Age Origins was normal? Remember Mass Effect when things were normal? I miss those days. Reddit needs to be burned down, by the way.
This afterwards to see what you're all saying. So, live chat. I need hashtag Team Brentsis everywhere immediately. Sorry.
Him. He's the problem. All right? Him. I appreciate that you're enjoying yourself. I appreciate that. But it's always about fucking and kissing with these Fine. If you do that, don't come to us about Stellar Blade, okay? If this is you, don't come to us over Stellar Blade, okay? Fine. If that's what you want to do, fucking a hashtag Cohen and a fucking stool. Hashtag Cohen and some garlic bread. You have your cake, I have mine. Stop saying Xanthe the Gilf.
I need it, and I will accept no, absolutely no apologies for it. But we want to get through these thick and fast. And our next question
keep going.
Comes from Chris, and very conveniently, it is sort of time related. So, Chris wants to know, how will players differentiate between a quest that will progress the day-night time mechanic and those that won't?
Okay, so this will be always made very clear to you. It will be marked with this small hourglass icon. You could actually see it in the gameplay a moment ago.
So kind of like Persona.
During the dialogue scene with Florian the priest.
Suspicious priest.
The suspicious priest man. Yeah, so if we chose the confession option, the time would actually push forward. And it works the same with quests. So you'll see.
Briar says, when playing Expedition 33, I was not expecting a romance affinity thing at all. Let's be honest, we didn't expect Expedition 33 at all. I mean, we didn't even expect that game to be as great as it is, like, right now. Right now, shippers are going like, oh shit, the two girls in the game have the hots for each other when they literally don't, and they both like men. But these shippers always like to be fucking weird about it. I fucking hate shippers. I put them all in Reddit, close the bag, and just...
exactly how much time will pass when you complete any given quest, and even part of that quest. So you can actually make some choices. You can decide on your own, you know, make an informed decision if you want to, of course. And if you just want to explore the world for a while, relax, time will not move at all.
I like that. I was worried initially, would time be something that was constantly over my shoulder, worrying me, ticking away, but it's a resource, right? Not a restriction.
Exactly.
And I think that's so cool because you can choose to spend it, but if I just want to explore Vale Sangora, I want to go for a wander and see, I can do exactly
absolutely.
That's how I want the time mechanic to feel, so that's exciting.
That's good.
Now, we have got so many more questions. The list goes on and on, but we promised you more than just that. And I think it's a perfect time to send people over to those wonderful Rebel Wolves devs to give us a little bit more insight.
Yes, and we will meet now with our senior quest designer, Patryk Fiałkowski, and layout artist, Zuzanna Suska, who will tell you more about magic. And then our design director, Daniel Sadowski, and senior combat designer, Janek Tyszka, will jump into the topic of traversal and then, of course, combat. Take it away.
Yeah, we need to talk to them real quick. By the way, I know that romance options really sell the game. My only thing that I have a gripe about with romances is is that I don't want that to be the primary focal point for not only the game, but I don't want that to be the primary focal point for the developers. Does that make sense? I also don't want it to be the primary focal point in any sort of website. If you want to make a forum site and be like, oh shit, shit, Monoko and Clive, oh my god, Monoko and Clive, do that in your own area. But if I have to go to Reddit and that's the only thing I see, it drives me up the wall. Or when the developers start going like, oh yeah, girl. Like, you remember Corin Bush when she was like, it's like, oh man, when I saw Tosh naked, and I was just like, bruh, what are we doing right now? First of all, we don't even know if it's a Dragon Age game yet. But I do not want that to be a primary focal point. That person that was just speaking right there, talking about hashtag Cohen, tell him to keep his fucking mouth shut next time. Tell him to be like, oh yeah, we do got romance. Anyway, next question. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? You know what I mean. Just keep it fucking short. Mr. Hardcore Mode, you're gatekeeping. Yes. Oh, what the fuck? The dark arts. That's what's...
You know what? I'm really good.
Sorry, I got so many jokes, but I'm not gonna say any. I got so many jokes, but I'm not gonna say anything.
Glad that it's daytime.
Really? Why?
Well, because
Yoshi.
I would just freak out in the woods at night.
No kidding.
Right? Just too many creepy stuff in the dark. But
Yeah.
I guess it's a good place to talk about magic.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know about you, but
Smash.
I really do believe in magic. But the kind of magic that we have in our game. So, more dark and ritualistic rather than glowing effects and rainbow auras.
Yeah,
Smash.
that's actually what I really like about our approach.
Get that guy off the camera.
Magic feels dangerous, like something you just shouldn't tamper with.
Oh yeah.
It's, I don't know, more organic. It revolves around blood or heat or the way the air pulses and distorts.
I think it ties to the world itself. Some places just feel different. They're connected to magic somehow or have remnants of it. You will feel it when you enter. Like old spellcasting grounds, cursed sites, they all stand out.
We even build specific cues for those spots, subtle signals that something just not quite right. You'll notice things like moths behaving in oddly mysterious ways, a natural fog, warped light, sometimes even some visual distortions. They are small things, but they will let you know that this isn't just another piece of scenery.
Yeah, okay, stop here, Patrick. Ever get that feeling that someone is watching you,
I mean,
even if you're like totally alone?
Well, just one of the many reasons why I don't like woods at night.
Okay. I think this is kind of the feeling we want to go for in our game. So it's not about what you see, it's about what creeps under your skin.
And speaking of skin, Zuza, I think it's worth mentioning that in order to even cast spells, Cohen has to literally carve runes into his own body, like a twisted tattoo sleeve.
Sweet.
Which is insane.
That's
but
fucking metal as fuck.
Also,
not gonna lie, pretty metal.
So there we go.
Into your own flesh is bold, brutal, and there is no going back. But you need to know how to do it right.
Yeah.
And this knowledge is scattered around the game world. So you go explore, you find forgotten spells, and bit by bit
You can
grow
find
stronger.
spells. Interesting.
That's right.
Man walking around looking like Doctor Who and shit.
One thing I really love about the magic and the spells is that every single spell can be upgraded. So you're not stuck on level 1 forever. And every time you unlock a new tier, it really feels like you're evolving.
Let's talk about this real quick. Let's talk about this. Listen, it's not that big of an upgrade, okay? I think the last one has an actual difference, but there's not much build variety when it comes to these magic builds. I do appreciate that they did put magic into this game, but there's not much variety here. I think that's fine. If you want to focus more on the narrative and less on the combat, that's exactly what you're doing, because let's be honest, if you could move around the enemies, the allies, the bosses, your own family, Cohen, between night and day, changing the narrative as you progress through the game, that's where the primary focal point of the game is going to be. I think there's going to be a lot of CPU memory involved in this game. I think it's going to be very CPU heavy, because all that data being transferred from you in the game world is going to be a lot, because the game has to constantly remember what you did at that moment. Now, when it comes to the combat, however, I mean, frugal witchcraft, sacrifice less health when casting hexes. And then the one is 10% and the one is 20%. And then the last one is the only one that has any substance. And it says, killing an enemy affected by hex effects restores 50% of your health spent to cast that hex. And you're just like, oh, finally, something interesting. So after that, you're pretty much done with that ability. You see what I'm saying? So there's not much build variety from what I see right now. And I hope that they don't have to be Path of Exile, okay? That build variety is insane. You do not have to be Path of Exile. What you can do is give it a little bit more oomph later on, like more spells and different. Every time when you get a trait, it does something that's maybe dangerous to yourself and also beneficial to yourself. But it changes between which road you go down on that perk tree. So take, for example, you want to shoot a blood bolt at an enemy and it requires some health. Well, okay, you got that ability, it takes some health. What happens when you go down the line from that and fork from that? You see what I'm saying? Maybe you can throw multiple blood stuff, but it's going to take more health from you. Maybe you can throw a bigger one. It's going to take more. It does splash damage. Maybe it dazes targets that, or blinds target with blood in their face, that sort of thing. All these sort of different ideas of just throwing a weapon. You know what I mean? Besides just saying, perfect example of what I'm talking about, Fallout 4 and Fallout 76. When you level shit up in Fallout, it's like you reload 5% faster. And the next one, you reload 10% faster. In the third one, you reload 50% faster. And I'm like, bruh, where's the substance? You know what I mean? Where's the substance? Anyway, yo, I'm being a gamer today, bro. I'm being a
not just going through the motions.
And it's not a combat-heavy magic system, right? It's more strategic. Many spells revolve around support, buffs, and debuffs.
Yeah, and here comes my next question to you, Patrick.
I'm listening.
Do you have your favorite spell?
Oh, well, there are a few. Rapid Scattering is one. I think it's interesting because it's more of a trade-off.
Oh, yeah.
Cohen's runes beat hard for a moment, and while doing so, Cohen's health replenishes, but at the same time, the maximum HP temporarily drops.
Oh, yeah. Risk and reward. So makes you think.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
Exactly. But, you know, we also have combat spells, like Burning Blood, for example, which I think has a really appropriate name.
We need to talk about this camera because Tekla was right. We need to talk about this camera because Tekla was right. This needs to change. This looks like this. You know what this looks like, developers, Rebel Wolves? This looks like I'm fighting the enemy sword against sword, and then out of nowhere I pull out a sniper rifle. Does that make sense to anybody what I'm saying? you're just fighting them sword for sword, and you're just like fighting each other, and then all of a sudden you pause it and use your abilities, and it looks like you're like about to do a 360 no scope out of fucking nowhere, and it throws you completely off. You need to increase the immersion while keeping the capabilities and the flow of combat intact. You see what I mean? Immersive and accessibility. Immersive and accessible. Like perfect example. All these moves are based on you using your tattoos, correct? Or drawing blood from your arm, correct? Why don't you have the camera slowly focusing on your arm while, perfect example, Horizon Zero Dawn. How the game slows down when you use the radial, and it zooms up on your character's arm, and the tattoos on your arm kind of glow, and so you're slowly moving, and you're about to use your ability, and then you pick an ability, and then boom, right there, it zooms up in the arm. You can do some sort of fancy sort of, you know, layout for or overlay right on the arm, showing the different abilities, and then go back into the combat.
Totally enemy.
By the way, another thing, this whole cutscene during the fight is so weird. This is not a turn-based combat game. Okay, this whole zooming in on your characters. So you got like 5 guys surrounding you, and they're just waiting until your cutscene is over while you're cutting yourself. Does that sound? Is that? What if while this cutscene is happening, where you're cutting your arm off, there's just one guy, just doing this, just waiting, just one guy, just like, just one guy just waiting on you to get the cutscene over with.
We start screaming in pain right away. Their skin breaks out in blisters, and if they die while it's still active, boom, dealing heavy damage around them. Delightful, really.
And nasty. And useful in crowds. So do you, Zuza, have some favorite spells? Besides burning blood, obviously?
Well,
judging from this woman right here, and she believes in magic, and she's a woman, it's probably the most grotesque, bloody move in the whole arsenal that you got. Something that literally stops the enemy from moving. Or takes their blood, something. We'll see.
I think Feral Mind.
Ooh, nice.
Because it's really oddly satisfying seeing your enemies under cast of this spell.
Told you she's crazy. All you have to do is look at the hair. She's a woman. She believes in magic. And I'm like, whatever it is, it's crowd control. Whatever it is, it's crowd control, and the enemy's going crazy. And she was like, I like Feral Mind. And I'm like, I fucking knew it. Of course you do. Of course you do. I'm over here like, I wanna make a bloody spear and then throw the spear right through the enemy's heart. That's the ability I want. Well, what kind of ability do you want, Susie, in Blood of the Dawnwalker? I want to watch them float up in the air and watch their bones crunch as I siphon their blood into my soul. All right, Stephanie. All right.
Their head and neck start rotting, eyes turn white, and they just snap. Start attacking everyone.
What did I say? What did I say? Bro, what did I say? What did I say? Bro. Because you guys think that I'm fucking weird, and you're like, that doesn't make any sense, Mr. Hardcore Mode. You don't know how she lives her life. Let's hear it again.
Satisfying seeing your enemies under cast of this spell. Their head and neck start rotting, eyes turn white, and they just snap. Start attacking everything around them.
I really dig the way how we show it visually. They're like wild animals.
Yeah, but that's...
She's speaking your love language?
Because we have even non-combat stuff, like Compulso.
This is why when you have like a significant other, that I always keep one eye open while I'm sleeping.
And can literally drag secrets out from the dead.
For me, as a quest designer, this is really an awesome tool to tell stories. It's always optional, but if you use it, you may uncover different quest branches, gain some valuable info, or sometimes even flip the context of an entire plotline.
What's important here, though, is that Cohen is a Dawnwalker, so he can use those magic spells only during the day.
Because then his runes are active, like bloody and raw, but at night they heal because of his vampiric skills.
Interesting.
So they become just scars?
I think this is one of the key elements of being a vampire. It's that they just don't use magic. I mean, even if they're powerful creatures, their power comes from a completely different place.
Oh, okay.
I don't know, maybe we can say that it's rooted in their instinct?
Either that, or they absorb it by draining another vampire. So it's really a completely different experience than using magic. And we really want to show what it's like for Cohen to live between those two realities. Not just visually, but in how he experiences the world.
I think for Xanthi, the Dark Mistress, it would make sense that since they can't use magic during the night or something like that, I think it would make sense that they have enough primal knowledge to grasp primal magic from the earth and then use that as a force to wield against your enemies or buff yourself. It would make sense that it's for one thing for Cohen to be like, yo, I'm going to use runes, or I'm going to mark myself with certain things, and then I'm going to use magic. That could be seen to older vampires. That could be seen as lesser. You see what I'm saying? It's like, oh, you just write on your arm and do your ability? Huh. Well, I grab magic from the primal earth, the very essence, the fabric that binds us between this world and the next, and that sort of thing. And then, I don't know, maybe they can teach you that or something. Somebody says 100% true. My ex-girlfriend, Pillars, one Path of the Damned, who was she? Cypher? About crowd control. Crowd control, of course. It's why I'm scared of feminists. I want them far away from me. Like a movie.
You know, I can't believe that already more than 3 years have passed since we started working on the Blood of Dawnwalker.
3 years?
Wasn't it? Especially since...
Stop. I need to talk. I'm sorry. 3 years and you're... So about four and some change on this game. So 4 years and some change when this game comes out. Are you serious? That is really, really good. But I want to talk to you right now. Rebel Wolves is not a big team, okay? They're not a big team, okay? This is what I'm talking about right here. As long as the bloat and the amount of money and bloat that is in AAA games is so fucking huge, it's insane. But it takes them 8 years or 5 years to like make a game or something like that. Expedition 33 is another example where they have a smaller team and they're able to wield whatever knowledge that they have and then get the job done. They don't have to have the best graphics. They don't have to have the best equipment. They just have to have a plan and leadership, and they can make a game. We talk about this every time on the channel, don't we, chat? Every time.
It's a brand new game with a brand new world and, well, brand new characters.
Yeah, we had to figure out everything from scratch. What the game's about, what the world is, who Cohen, our main hero, is, and of course how it all fits together.
Yeah, we really did our best to create the world which feels real. The city, all the villages.
That really looks nice, but I also want to add something else. Do you guys ever look at like some game developers and they're succeeding and then all of a sudden they say like, we hired 200 new people and added another studio site over in Moscow or some shit. And I'm just like, why? Why? You ever wonder that? It mind boggles me to no fucking end that they're just like, oh shit, we could function with 100 people. Oh shit, we could function with 300 people. Huh, we could function with 500 people and 2 new studios. And I'm like, what are you guys doing? You're spreading yourself too thin. This is why I get scared of like certain companies that succeed that I like.
It all feels pretty unique.
Yes, Svartrau, for example, has this urban medieval atmosphere.
Like
which
Larian.
in contrast with quiet villages like Laslia, where Cohen is from.
Well, we also have swamps, forests, mountains, caves, ruins, and everything is there for a reason to, you know, tell the story. I even have my favorite tree.
Yeah, well, the narrative does go deep, doesn't it? And I mean, that wasn't the only thing that was important to us. Every game element had to make sense from a gameplay perspective as well.
Yeah, that's why we had to make exploration both fun and intuitive. So things like well-functioning map is a must-have.
Yeah, and I think that's what's cool about our game is that even from almost the very beginning, the whole world, the whole map is fully accessible to the player.
That's what I love. You can just dive into the world and everything opens up. You can do what you want to do. And there is so much to do and there's so much to discover.
Here's another thing that would be nice for you to do. Take out the map. I know this is gonna sound crazy. Oh god. Hold on, I got it. Here's another thing. Take out the map. I've noticed games without a map, or a game that I don't even use the map for anymore, that I understand where everything is. Now, we can pick and choose what we want to do with exploration, but I always like the fact that you can just, like, for example, Elden Ring. Elden Ring, I used the map, but I didn't use it that much, because you knew by looking at the world where things were, where you wanted to go. There was no thing where it was just like every time you turn, you didn't know where the hell you were. But in Elden Ring, it was like, bro, there's the giant castle right there. There's the giant golden tree. There's a giant bridge over there. There's giant crab monsters over there. There's a dragon sleeping over there. There's a giant spike hill with a manor inside over there. It was just like, well, I know where the hell I'm going. I want to go there. I want to go there. I want to go there. I didn't need to use the map to like figure out. It's like, oh man, I'm lost. No, you're not lost. You just turn around, look, and be like, oh yeah, I was over there. Because if you look at the map and it's so interesting and so like eye-dropping that it's just like you can figure out where to go easily without a map.
Yeah, and not just the settlements, of course. There are other cool.
Perfect example: the royal castle in Lucaria in Elden Ring. You know, the giant magic castle. How many of you guys actually pulled out the map for? How many of you pulled out the map to figure out how to get to the castle. The giant magic castle in Rhea Lucaria. The giant castle, the magic blue castle. How many of you pulled out a map and be like, yo, where's the castle at? None of you did. When you went to the second area, you were like, oh, there's a castle right there. It's right there. Oh man, I need to find that castle. It's right there. You mean that castle right there? Nobody were like, oh man, where's the? It's like, have you been to the Lucaria castle? And I'm like, you mean that one right there? No, I haven't been there, but I'm about to go.
Places.
Do you need a guide?
No. Haunted sites, bandit camps,
hidden monster nests, or treasure spots.
Of course, and much more. And I mean, the key is, of course, observation and exploration if you want to uncover these secrets.
Yeah.
But you never have to go too far before stumbling upon something interesting.
Which is actually the main reason we are here today. Cohen needs to reach those points of interest somehow.
Indeed, and since everything in our game is tied to this duality of our main character, both human and vampire sides of Cohen bring unique elements to the game. Even the way you explore changes depending on time.
Yeah, during the day, Cohen walks, runs, jumps, you know, human stuff.
Yeah, but then the night comes and everything changes.
So
yeah, maximized. I agree.
That's when
on the hardest difficulty.
Side takes over, and he gains access to new vampiric abilities that were previously hidden.
Yeah, when we were first talking about.
I like who the Soul Blade hero. I want to pull out what he just said. It's exactly what I want. What Soul Blade hero said is, I'm okay with maps, but they should start with a blank slate, then fill them out thoroughly through your travel like Morrowind. Fucking exactly. This is so perfect. Where it's like, you have an empty map, you know? And you know where you're at because you're at the city. And of course the city will be in the map because the city is huge. But for going outside of the city, even inside the city, you know what KCD2 did the same thing. KCD2 did the exact same thing. You walk up to like a tavern and then they say tavern is discovered. And then it never shows itself again. You walk up to a camp in KCD, camp discovered. You never have to look at that map again. That's what I'm talking about. That is exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's an empty slate, and then also it's not in your fucking way up in the front of the screen like, you've just discovered the shoemaker's house. And I'm like, okay, back up off my screen, okay? Put it at the bottom right of the screen. What the fuck?
What cool things Cohen could do during the night. We were like, it has to feel like you're in the Matrix, you know? You plug in and suddenly you can do all of those cool things that you wouldn't be able to do otherwise. Bend reality to your will.
So, which of those vampiric abilities is your favorite?
I think for me it's Shadow Step. I think it really adds a cool layer to the game. And even in the early prototypes, it was just so fun to, for example, traverse the rooftops using that abilities. I would run on a rooftop, jump into the air, Shadow Step onto another rooftop. It just made me feel real powerful.
Yeah, it's extremely cool. But you know, for me, it's more of a plane shift. The way I can walk on walls, or walk upside down on the ceiling.
Alright guys, we need to talk about this plane shift ability where you could walk on walls. Why don't... Bro, you're missing out. You're missing out on the moment, man. I hope you don't... Let's focus on one thing at a time. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, plane shift. That's cool. Awesome. But here's the thing.
Extremely cool. But you know, for me, it's more of a plane shift. The way.
Stop having the character. Stop having this character crouch while he's walking on the wall. Stop it. Stop having the character walk on the wall. I mean, crouch on the wall like he's trying to sneak on the wall. Have him stand up and walk like normal. And here's the second one. And this one might get you like, this will give you some my nigga points. And everybody wants a my nigga point. Have a boss battle while you're on plane shift. That's right. 2 vampires. You're just like this, and it's just like, let's fight. And it's just like, you're both on the wall, and then cue the fucking Underworld, like, soundtrack or some shit, where cue some fucking corn music. Oh, wow. Oh, no, sorry, that's, I'm gonna get in trouble for that one. That's Disturbed. My bad.
I can walk on walls or walk upside down on a ceiling. It makes me feel like
have him crawl like Spider-Man? Nah, walk, man.
Upon unsuspecting prey.
Him crouching is weird.
And let's not forget about Claw Ride, which allows you to quickly scale down walls or mountain cliffs using Cohen's vampire claws. It's also super effective at surprising enemies.
Yeah, there are so many other abilities. One more, actually, allows Cohen to travel super fast through the valley.
Yeah, that's true. It's a cool alternative to the default fast travel option.
Yeah, and that's what's great, all the different things you can do. You can even solely play as a human or as a vampire. It's all up to your preferences.
And that's the beauty of it. No matter the playstyle you decide on, it's all about immersion.
Okay, you guys are the combat people, okay? You're the combat people, correct? I think you're the combat people, right? I think they are the... Okay, they talk about combat a little bit later. But I'm over here like, yo, let's talk about traversal. Nah, nigga, let's talk about that combat. I'm waiting on that conversation. They're over here like, oh, man. Oh, shit, I can, like, shadow step. And I'm like, you mean you can dishonor yourself from one building to another? And by the way, I haven't seen Cohen jump. Have you noticed that? I'm waiting for Cohen to jump. I haven't seen that. I've only seen them do the shadow step.
And the freedom of choice.
And vampires.
And vampires.
Talk about that combat, bro. Bro, how long are you gonna keep your crazy girlfriend, bro? This is so edgelord. This is so edgelord. I love it.
Do you remember our first conversations we had about the combat in the Blood of the Walker?
Yeah, I remember we had this very long list of...
Oh yeah, I remember that conversation. You said something along the lines of like, don't be a bitch and make me look cool. Yeah, did it sound something like that? Yeah, you were kind of aggressive, bruh. Yeah, yeah, I remember that conversation. I said, if it's boring, kick that shit out.
Of ideas and things we wanted to achieve, didn't we?
Yeah, tricky thing, right? Whenever you think of dark fantasy or vampires, very specific stuff comes to mind. Same goes for medieval, gritty, or grounded.
Yeah, and we wanted to achieve something that felt like real medieval sword fight, where every swing, every block, it carried weight.
Yeah, it had to be challenging for sure, but also accessible and adjustable for difficulty levels. And that also makes perfect sense from the story perspective. You know, Cohen was trained by his father, that's all he knows. He never picked up a bow, never trained with axes. Sword is his domain.
As is yours, actually, right? I mean, your real-life sword fighting experience brought a lot to the project, and the idea to add direction...
That's interesting, like, that the combat person actually did real-life sword fighting. That's kind of cool. Question, though. When you were sword fighting, did your peripheral vision, Like, when you were fighting, did the camera shake every time that you swung the... Just random question. Did the camera shake every time that you landed a blow on the enemy or clashed?
Functionality to our game's combat, well, that was a true game changer.
Totally. We wanted combat to be both immersive and cinematic.
Yeah, and it works. I mean, you feel like you are in the fight. You have to watch the enemy, watch from which direction they attack, block that direction, and then counterattack correctly.
Yeah, take that camera shake
You cannot
off.
just start button mashing and hope for the best. And when more enemies appear, things get a little bit more interesting, don't they?
Yeah, combat is designed not only for duels, but for one versus many also. So when you are fighting a group, they are smart. They are not just waiting their turn. They swap around, switch positions, flank you, rotate around you.
I did notice that they were
to
trying to
take you down.
flank. That's good.
And I think that's what I love the most about our game. It doesn't just look cool. The combat is also tactical.
Yeah, we actually took a lot of inspirations from tabletop RPGs and the question, how do you want to do this? And it's pretty funny because at first we thought that complexity of combats could be a little bit too overwhelming.
Let's not
for
quote Matt Mercer,
less
shall
agile
we?
Players.
Yeah, but then iteration after iteration, playtest after playtest, we...
Like I showed you, that little reticle thing that you just saw, take that shit out the game, bruh.
managed to find a sweet spot.
Yeah, on lower difficulty levels, combat still requires some focus, that's for sure, but enemies are more forgiving and you have more time to react.
That was important to us.
How does
we
that
wanted
work,
the game
though?
to be fun to both more experienced players as well as those who just want to focus more on the story.
I fucking hate those type of people, bro. I hate those fucking type. It's like, oh, for those that want to focus on the story, fuck them. They're just here to fucking... I want Cohen to get with Xantha, the Dark Mistress. That's you, chat. I'm calling you out, chat. That's you. Jesus. Bro, I want to be niche again. I want to be niche. I want to gatekeep. I so want to gatekeep. Bro. I want to play on easy mode, and I want Cohen to fuck a vampire dude, and I'm like, I want to gatekeep so bad. I'm gonna be like, bro, you could totally have sex with that vampire man, but you have to go through 10 hard, intense boss fights against like 10 dudes. Like, oh, you got one boss fight, another boss fight. It's like, bro, I could barely beat the first guy. What the fuck is up with this game? And I'm just like, yeah, gatekeeping. You gotta fight all these guys in order to get your ass fucked. That's right. You want to do it, right? He's like, that's it. I'm gonna return this game and I'm just gonna watch it on YouTube, and I'm gonna be like, yeah. You want to know the story? Get good, bitch. One difficulty only. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Or he's like, oh, for those that want to focus on the story. Bitch, this ain't Sims. The fuck you mean? Oh, fucking... Bro, bring back Wolf... Bro, I'll talk about it. Bring back this. Bring back this. Bring it back. You want story mode? You want story mode? This is what you get. This is what you get. You want story mode? Click it. Click it. Go ahead. Go ahead. I just want to focus on the story. There you go. Go ahead, click it. Very easy difficulty setting for the spineless gamer. Bring that shit back. It's been a long day today.
So, the combat at night. As a vampire, Cohen gains access to new options.
Yeah, you can switch to fighting with claws. It's still directional, but it's more instinctive, more savage. And of course, vampires can still fight with swords and mix sword combat with pure vampiric savagery.
We have even more differences between day and night from the combat perspective.
True, as a human, you can lay down your sword and let the fists do the talking.
A good old fist fight, when you wanna feel the weight of each punch, whether you're taking it or throwing it.
And during daytime, you have access to magic, which is inaccessible to vampires.
Yeah, as a vampire, however, you gain access to new cool powers, blood-fueled ones.
And speaking of blood, in the blood of Dawnwalker, health is of course tied to this dual day versus night gameplay loop that we have.
Yeah, during the day, it's simple. Kind has standard health bar with no regeneration over time.
But during the night, blood hunger kicks in.
Yeah, his health bar splits into segments and...
Question. How about... And yes, we're gonna take this from Vampire V Rising. How about every time when you drink someone's blood, you get a certain buff or debuff? So if you suck the blood of a vampire, like you suck blood from a farmer, you have higher regenerative health because they probably have a bigger constitution. They're always toiling every day, so they're probably, a little bit more muscular, so you have a higher constitution. But if you took blood from a noble person, or if you took blood from a guard or something like that, your sword play is, your damage increases. If you took blood from a vampire, like all sorts of shit, like tie this to V Rising, and each time that you, or better yet, you suck the blood of a beggar and you get sick. Yeah.
And once he drops into the lowest one, the blood hunger fully kicks in.
Yeah, and that's not just cosmetic. If Cohen is hungry and you're not careful, he may even devour someone he cares about.
So we have to make sure that it's never vague. Player will get visual and audio cues.
Yeah, and unlike daytime, health regenerates passively at night, but only up to a certain point. Beyond that, if you want to fully recover, you need to feed.
Yeah, if you want to fully regenerate, you need to drink human blood, or animal blood, or even blood vials.
There is also an option to drink vampire blood, but let's just say, interesting things start to happen when you do that.
That'd be cool. I'm just saying, bro, these developers need to think bigger.
Today, but there's still so much more to look forward to.
Exactly so. And before we wrap up, there's one more thing we have to do. Will you do the honors?
Funny thing about these motherfuckers over in Europe, I don't need to talk about the music. Every time in Europe, I'm just like, you need to fix this, this, and this with your video game. What about the music? You guys are always doing well with the music. Pretty fire. We need to put you on a watch list, Briars. That was nice. I like that. I like that. The pommel strike. Ooh. Ooh. Moral of the story, stop saving your goth girlfriend.
Welcome back, everybody. Dominica and I are still here, and we are ready to answer even more of your questions. But first, I have to talk about the combat system. We now know that it's directional combat, but it's focused on the world around Cohen and on his enemies instead of being introverted.
Yeah. So you can immerse yourself in each encounter, observe your enemies, their movements. And what I really like about this as well is that it's very responsive. So you can quickly change your mind and pick a different attack or block or use a skill instead.
I've been lucky enough to play around with it a little bit, and one of the things I really enjoyed about flipping the directional combat, I didn't feel like I needed to spend 6 hours working out how to do it, only to then struggle. It felt so intuitive and so quick to learn, but really enjoyable. It was fast, it was frantic, but it just made each fight worth being in. It was so epic, it was so much fun.
Yeah, we took our time to polish.
I told you guys before, you need to watch out for people like this, because they say a whole bunch of positives, but there's always room for negatives. But they really do need to talk about that. But they won't do that because this is PR speak. So everything is perfect, the game is perfect, everything's perfect, everything's great. And then you ask them, well, if everything's perfect, then why don't we just get the game right now? I was like, oh, the game's not finished. Well, if the game's not finished, then not everything's perfect. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? So I'm over here just like, it's okay. I like the panel of hell. The panel of hell with Larian Studios is what I'm talking about. You remember when they were testing the game in the panel from hell? You remember when they were testing the game, showing you the game in the panel from hell, and then stupid, random, buggy shit would happen during the panel, and then they would be like, yeah, we probably need to fix that. And I'm like, oh god, this is what I wanted. This is all I wanted. This is all I wanted. The panel from hell was the best. Because there was always goofy shit that happened, and they were just transparent with it, and they were just like, oh yeah, we probably need to fix that.
And just make it, fun and just feel great to play.
Well, it felt it when I got my hands on it, I won't lie. And speaking of well-polished, speaking of epic, that new song as well.
It is a great song, isn't it? It was composed by our in-house composer, Nikola Kołodziejczyk, who is, of course, joined by a team of super talented musicians. And you could actually see him in the video playing this weird instrument called hurdy-gurdy.
Okay.
It's not that weird.
As fast as possible to the questions, because if I have to say
no. Let's stop with this. It's like, oh man, this weird instrument that we never heard of, the hurdy-gurdy, and I'm like, bruh, it's not that weird, bruh. You just hold it, you play some notes here, and then you turn the thing on the other. It's not, bruh. It's like young people going outside and they're just like, how do I put the gas in the car? And I'm like, You put the gas, you take the hose and then you put it in there. Oh man, I've never seen that before. And I'm like, bitch, are you serious right now? It's just a hurdy-gurdy.
Say hurdy-gurdy more than once, this whole thing is going to fall to pieces. So straight back to the questions we go.
Yeah,
I'm still prepared. And the next question for you, Dominica, comes from Professor CGK. Now, this is a really interesting.
You just got to hurdy that gurdy.
We've seen that obviously
You're
there's so
banned.
many decisions in the Blood of Dawnwalker, but will some of those decisions make you more or less vampire?
This is such a great question, and
That's
there's
a good
so many
question.
layers to it because, so first we have the skill trees, of course, right? So you will enhance your abilities, and that will make you, of course, more and more of a vampire. Then we have the blood drinking. You can choose to drink human blood, you can choose to drink animal blood. And I would say that choosing human blood, you know, will make you a bit more of a vampire, get you more to the vampire side, especially that you can also drain blood of some important NPCs. Next, you can skip time and try to play only at night, fully embracing your vampiric side. And there's, of course, the narrative layer, so all the different stories and quests and decisions you have to make and how you will personally feel about them, but also what kind of consequences they might bring.
I hope that they do this where they introduce a little bit more religion in the game, because it seems like I don't know who they were praying to in the gameplay thing, but it seems like everybody was playing because this is all in the real world, I think. But I hope that there's some Christianity within this game, so I can play the game full human, drinking animal blood, and I'm trying to save my family. I'm trying to keep myself pure. And, you know, I'm you know, my character says certain Christian things at the beginning, middle of the end of the game. It's like, why don't you drink human blood? It's like, and then my character is just like, it's like, my God does not allow that. I will not become you vampire. Something like that, you know?
Okay, so Professor CGK, the answer was yes, 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 and yes.
And yes.
Fantastic. Okay, love to see it. Amazing. Next question. We're going to go through as many as we can, and it comes from someone who's actually quite active in our community Discord. It comes from Biggie. So thank you for this question, Biggie. They want to know, is there an alignment or a reputation system with the
I have noticed that,
factions? So
Nathan.
the humans,
I have.
the vampires, or will things change on more an individual basis?
Okay, so there are two sides to this question as well. And we have this global notoriety system. So basically, the more visible action you take against Brancis, the more reputation or notoriety you will gain. And Brancis will take notice, and he will try to make your life more difficult, issuing all these different edicts. And they will affect you, but they will also affect the world and other people. Yeah, but it might also open up some new possibilities for you, you know, at the same time. I'm sure that enemies of the Brancis regime will appreciate your infamy here.
I think she was trying to steer away from the answer. I think there's not going to be... I think it's just going to be vampire or humans, and then that's it. Because I think she steered away from that question.
That makes sense. I mean, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, right? So that does make sense. That's on the broader side, but as you've mentioned before, each individual NPC will kind of have an impact too, right?
Yeah, that's the other side. So it's not strictly reputation, but again, your decisions will matter. So depending on them, some people might be more or less inclined to work with you or just to help you out.
Okay, well, it feels like there's going to be an impactful decision at pretty much every single corner. Next question. We are getting through them as thick and as fast as we can. Now, previously we'd mentioned that the Blood of Dawnwalker will have no microtransactions, which I am very much a fan of. We have a couple of questions that I'm going to kind of merge together from Solandis and Kaido. They've asked...
Let's be honest. I mean, if somebody has a question about that, then go ahead and answer that. But you don't need to mention it. You honestly don't need to mention it. I would like that to be a standard to where we don't have to ask whether or not it's microtransactions in the game. Right now, it's probably not at the moment. Everybody still has scarcity about a certain game, but right now would be a good time to be, if somebody asks in your like tablet or something, and just say like, yeah, there's no microtransactions. Yeah, you know what I mean? I want that to be the norm.
Whether the Blood of Dawnwalker is going to have any sort of early access or demo, maybe tied to some sort of digital deluxe or something like that.
We're not planning any early access or demos. We want to focus on delivering a great experience.
Oh, they want to go AAA
at launch. And what I can also say is that we are not going to have any kind of in-game digital perks connected to pre-orders or other paywalls because we just want to treat everyone the same.
Playable demo
that seems reasonable.
would be nice.
You shouldn't be punished for finding the Blood of Dawnwalker
Exactly.
late, right? We have the first stream up on the YouTube channel.
Wait.
Third one.
Did they just skip that? Is there going to be a playable demo? A playable demo is kind of a similar question. Did they skip that? Yo, did they do my boy Kaido wrong?
We're not planning any early access or demos. We want to focus on delivering.
She calls it demos. Okay, I didn't catch that one. I got thrown for the loop. I've never heard demos before. I've never heard that before. So yeah, there's no demos. By the way, you should have demos. I'm sorry. You should have demos. I'm sorry. You should have demos.
A great experience for you guys at launch. And what I can also say is that we're not going to have any kind of in-game digital perks connected to pre-orders or other paywalls because we just want to treat everyone the same.
I mean, that seems reasonable. You shouldn't be punished for finding the Blood of Dawnwalker late, right? We have the first stream up on the YouTube channel. Maybe you find us in the third one. But I like that.
Well, we could talk about punishments later. Oh, no. Let's talk about punishments. What about the punishment of playing a game and it doesn't work? What about that punishment? What if the game comes out? What if we get punished for buying a game from you guys and we don't quite like it and now we can't return it because we played past 2 hours? What about that one? When we could literally have a demo, try the game out for maybe 2 days, or you can have the demo out for a whole week before the game comes out, and then we can judge it for ourselves. See, that's the kind of dishonest rhetoric bullshit that I can't stand, where it's just like, I'm gonna get punished if the game doesn't work or the combat doesn't feel good. Like a lot of us, let's all agree here. 100% everybody thinks that the world of Dawnwalker looks and sounds cool, but when we get it in our hands and it doesn't feel quite right, and then we can't return the game, bro, just put a 1 hour and 30-minute timer after you buy the game and play it, and then have that little time cooker play right on the side of your fucking screen. And if you decided, no, I don't want to keep this, turn that timer off and then just return that shit.
Yes.
Be right back. Hold on, because demos are great. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a great idea. I got a great idea. For Steam, when it comes to indie games that are very, very short, have the return policy stay on 2 hours. When it comes to AA games or AAA games that last longer, they last 40 minutes, 40 hours or 50 hours or 30 hours or 100-hour video games, there should be a 4 or 5 hour mark to return the game. That's it. There should be two different ones. 2 hours for the cheaper, like, sort of, you know how there's a lot of horror games on Steam and a lot of them are just like 4 hours long or 1 hour long? Wait, are there 1 hour long? No, those are early access and demo ones. But yeah, have it be 2 hours, and then for the others, let it be 4 or 5 hours. It'd be a good idea.
But I think that's fair. I think it's nice to deliver the game as intended to all the players on the launch day.
Yeah, that's the plan.
Okay. Now, this next question comes from, if I counted all of the names that have asked basically this question, we would be here until the full Wolf Moon. It is related to languages. Dominica, which languages will the Blood of Dawnwalker launch supporting?
Okay, so there is a lot. So I have a cheat sheet prepared here so I can read them all to you and not miss anything. So yes, so first of all, we'll have full localization, meaning like a full VO, subtitles, UI elements, everything basically in English, French, Italian, German, Spanish, and Polish. And then we are going to have the text localization, meaning subtitles and UI elements in Brazilian Portuguese, Mexican Spanish, Korean, traditional Chinese, simplified Chinese, Japanese, Turkish, Czech, and Hungarian.
Fantastic. That is a lot. The cheat sheet was smart.
Yeah.
That was smart. Now, that is a lot of languages, but we know that it's a deeply personal experience when you're playing a game, so I'll ask the greedy question. Is there any possibility of supporting other languages in future?
We know that localization is super important to experience a game properly, and we're doing our best to have as many options as we can. And we will be looking into more. However, we cannot promise anything at this moment, so you know it might be not possible to have any other localization options for the launch or even later. We'll see. We'll let you know if anything changes.
Makes sense. Deliver what we're promising rather than promise and not get there.
Yeah.
Okay, I like it. But much like Cohen, we are starting to run out of time. But we still have so many questions. So I know you're going to be answering even more questions in Discord after the stream, right?
Yes, yes. I do want to answer as many of your questions as we can without spoiling anything, of course. So head over to our Discord server if you want to learn more about the Blood of Dawnwalker. And I will be joining you guys in a few moments. Just need a short break first. Live streams are stressful, you guys, honestly. And yeah, but hey, no fire alarm today.
No fire alarm
from the last stream.
Yet, okay? The studio is haunted. That painting has it in for me. I'm sure of it, but...
That's true.
But we don't just have Discord, of course, though you should be there. There are so many social that you can use to keep up to date with the Blood of Dawnwalker and...
I'm not using Reddit, that's for sure. All right. That is pretty much Blood of the Dawnwalker. It looks good. I'm super excited about the game. How do you guys feel about the game? How do you guys feel? I must say it does intrigue me, and I'm still keeping my eye on the game. However, I am a little bit worried. I am not going to lie. I am a little bit worried, but not too worried, but a little worried. How do you guys feel about it? Let me go over here. Yeah, because the game looks fucking dope. Looks real dope. I just hope that it works to everyone's favor. Oh, that looks terrible. Okay. Yeah, that looks absolutely... Not trying to be cringy, but I really am glad that I discovered this channel. Cool host, base as fuck chat. Placebo. He has a dual language. I have a lot of people in my chat that either speak Czech or Russian, or I had one person speak Korean before, but yeah, I have a lot of different people in here. I'm excited, but do we know how that 30 days and 30 nights time limit will work? Apparently, the day and night cycle is a lot longer than you think, and also it gives you a lot of room to explore. So yeah, the game, I'm not too worried about the time aspect of it anymore. Привет, bratan. Going to bed, bro? Me? I'm not going to bed. I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back with playing more video games here soon. And yeah, we'll just end the reveal here. The fact that it's being developed by the former decent people of CDPR that were involved in The Witcher 3 says it all. Looks really promising. Yeah, it does look really promising. Now, however, just letting you know, they're also responsible with how Cyberpunk 2077 came out in 1.0. So they were also responsible for that. So keep that in mind. So which party do you think is going to win the next big UK general election? I don't fucking know, man. I don't give a fuck about that shit. I'm American. I can't wait like the new shoes did. Yeah, I can't either. I'm ready. I'm ready for the game to come out. But take their time. They need to fix the shit though. They really do need to fix the shit. Anyway, I'm gonna end it right here. I will be back in like a few hours, and we will play some video games. I appreciate y'all being here.